Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be declutter number 1, the brushes. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In today's video, we are going to be going through all of my brushes. I gave them a good clean last night for the ones that I was actually using. I've got my travel makeup brushes in here. These are spare brushes, and this Zoeva organizer is where I keep most of my day-to-day brushes, and this barely moves around, so I can't find anything. And I was so lucky in 2024 that a couple of brands sent me brushes to try, but it meant that this is now overflowing. This was already overflowing, so I mainly need to declutter from this cubby and possibly from here so I can make this a little bit more manageable and I can actually find the brushes that I want to use on a day-to-day basis, because this has been an absolute nightmare. So let me save this one for last and let's get through these travel brushes first, because I think that will be fun. So in my travel brush collection, I keep a little mirror, just in case there is not a good mirror and I need to sit in front of a window, which is usually the case. And then there's just some hair clips in there. And then it's just an array of brushes that I like, but that I don't necessarily use in my day-to-day life, but that work quite well. But I do feel, whenever I've been doing my makeup on the go in the past year, I was always feeling like there was something missing. So maybe there's something in here that I would like to change around. And I've also just like put things in here that I haven't really used. I was gifted this travel brush set from Artclass. This is a K-beauty brand, and I haven't been able to try these yet. But I'm especially intrigued with this like angled blush brush kind of thing. So that's gonna stay. The other three, I don't know. Part of me is also like, maybe if I keep the set together, it's going to be easier for me to pass it on to someone. So I think that's what I'm going to do with these, because I have plenty of brushes that I've used, that I love, etc., etc. So these are a declutter. For eye brushes, I just have a couple of random bits in here, and I think I actually want to make quite a few of my Whatsup Beauty brushes part of this travel makeup bag. I was gifted some things in PR. I love these. They are Japanese made brushes, but I don't use them enough for my day-to-day, but there are some lovely things, and I feel that they're quite short, which makes them great for travel. So this I want to keep. My little Sigma E25 travel size is a great alternative for my MAC 217. And then I just have a little Spectrum brush set in here. This I did buy myself at some point when I wanted to try some Spectrum brushes, and they pretty much only do brush sets. And this brush, like, I've cleaned these, and this one has just completely gotten ruined, so this I'm gonna declutter. I quite like this for powder. This is the A04, so that's gonna stay. And I do like these little like eyeshadow brushes that were in here. These are nice, so these are going to stay as well. It was the Tinkerbell set that they did a while ago. This little Essence brush is really nice as well. It doesn't have a name. It was part of their Jurassic World collection that tied in with the movie a couple of years ago. And those were some really nice brushes, so I do want to keep those in. And also these eyeshadow brushes, because these are also quite nice. And then these two, I don't know. I use this as bronzer. It's a bronzer brush from Essence, from their regular range, but it's just gotten a little bit janky after washing it a few times. Like, it looks like an animal that has gotten a model coat, so that can go. And this is a really old Real Techniques brush, you can tell from the handle, that I like to use sometimes for foundation or cream products, anything like it, but it's gotten also a little bit splayed over the years, so I think I could get rid of that. Which brings me to what's in here, so let me dump it out. There are so many things here. Like, some of these things I would love to keep because they're really good brushes, but for instance, Sigma sent me, I think they sent me a new one of this exact brush. I'm not sure if they sent me the F80 or the F82 anymore, but I think I'm just going to have to keep my Sigma brushes separately so that I can see which Sigma brushes I actually have, whether there are any double ones. I think this is a Sigma brush. Yes, this is the P82. That's a lovely brush. But I definitely can get rid of some of these because I don't love them. This Spectrum brush I haven't reached for ever since I tried it, but this is good enough to be passing on to someone. This is the A05. Oh, yeah. I tried a bunch of these HEMA brushes, and these are nice. But again, I just have nicer things in my day-to-day makeup collection. So they have this entire bamboo handle brush collection. This is so, so lovely. And they're actually pretty good. Oh, this is a really good replacement for the Real Techniques brush. So I think this is going to go into my travel makeup bag for like cream. Like, it's so much smaller. That's why I liked it. Like, do you see the size difference here between the Real Techniques and this? This is much more up my vibe right now. And they also did this more rounded thing. This is their buffing brush. So I think I like that too. I just really enjoy using things like creams and liquids a lot more than I did before. So these are some good brushes, actually. These eyeshadow brushes aren't necessarily it, but those can be easily passed on. These two as well, like they're really great brushes, and this really big powder brush too. But I think I have other things in my day-to-day makeup collection that I just like better. I have this travel size MAC 187, which I would like to keep, but in this cubby. Let me see if I can like get some brushes together that are from the same set. I had this Catrice set with the pink handles. Oh, here's another blush brush from HEMA. It already has hair sticking out, so not sure that's the best quality. I think there were 3 in this line. Oh, another HEMA brush here. That's nice, but that will be great for someone else. So these Catrice brushes are really good, but they're really, really long. Like the handles are too big for my hands. So again, any of these pink brushes from Catrice, I'm going to be passing on to someone else. I've barely used them. I also have these red brushes. These were a set from Melt, and they look really cool, but I've tried playing with these and I don't love them. So again, something I'm going to pass on to someone else. See, that's why these things they're either old things that I used to love, or they are things that I just wasn't reaching for. So this brush I do like from BK Beauty, the 113. Would that be something for my... No, that's gonna just stay. Oh, my little... Oh, this is such an old brush. This is from HEMA as well. This is one of the first ever under eye brushes that I used. I think this is a MAC 217, but with a shorter handle that I love. I sort of have that one as a backup for when my original 217 dies on me. So here I have a Whatsup Beauty brush, Zoeva, and a Sigma. So the Sigma one I need to compare. And here I have another Whatsup Beauty brush. These are nice, but they're a little bit big for my features, so I think I'm going to pass these on. And this really old Zoeva brush I would like to keep because I like this and I've used it a lot, the 223. I used to own a lot of just Zoeva brushes. I think this is a Sigma brush that came with a palette. Still good to be passed on to someone else. I just don't do double-ended things. Same thing for this one, also from Sigma. This little thing, who remembers the rage that all of these brushes caused at some point? I really like them, but that can just go. It's not a thing anymore for me. Let me see. I have, is this Zoeva? And Zoeva. I'm not inclined to be getting rid of any of my Zoeva brushes. I can tell you that already. I think this was also Zoeva. Yeah. And this is also Zoeva. So these are all Zoeva brushes. I have a lot more in my day-to-day collection as well, like I mentioned. I love these. This is the Classic Shader 232. Great brush. Would like to keep. This angle brush, I'm going to have to compare it to other angle brushes I have, because I think I have something similar from Sigma now. But that would be a good brush to keep. This I like. This is the Face Shape. It's like a contouring brush, but that I can still get some use out of. This I've never used. This is a fan brush, the Petite fan. This can go. I've used that. Not that sanitary to pass it on, I think. The Face Focus is nice. And I also have this Luxe Powder Fusion. This is a really nice wispy highlighter brush, in case you're looking for that. And this is another highlighter brush, but this was a bit too big for me, but I still like that one. Oh, and this is another Zoeva brush. I have some of them from special collections. This is the Face Finish, which I would also like to keep. I have a few Refer brushes in here, but most of my Refer brushes are with my day-to-day collection, but I think most of them need to go in here. The issue for me with Refer, they're really, really good brushes. Such great quality. They're just too big for my features. So that's why I don't use them a lot, but in a pinch, they are excellent brushes to be using. This can go. This is from Up and Up, which was a Target brand. I randomly picked that up one year, but that's super old. This Kiko brush looks nice, but I've never used it. This is the 08. I think I got it as a freebie with purchase. This Sonia Kashuk brush, also from Target, that I picked up in the US one year. Really old, but still really good. And this is another Sigma one. This is the E25. So again, I need to compare it to the other Sigma things I have. This e.l.f. stipple brush, really good. Some of my first ever brushes were by e.l.f. So if you're in a pinch and you're looking for affordable brushes, e.l.f. is a really good brand for that. But this has run its course. And here we have another Real Techniques one. The name has completely rubbed off. And I actually think that this is too similar to this Zoeva thing, for instance. So I think I have things that can do the same thing, so that can be thrown away. But these things I can easily pass on. Which brings me to this, the Everyday Cubby. And this organizer is also from Zoeva. It has two big cubbies, and then the final cubby is split into two, which you can see if I take these out, I think. I hope you can see that. So that's the way it's set up. And you can just see I've just jammed everything in there. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's jammed in here. So let's go through the eye brushes first, because everything else is face. And there I have, like, my everyday favorites are in here. Let me find them. Of course, this is now all, like, I washed everything yesterday, so now I can't find a single thing. But this Zoeva brush, or HEMA brush, I use all the time, so that's a definite keep. I have two Sigma E55s. I have an old one, which I know because it's got a little dent in there, and the name has rubbed off. I use this one for, like, glitters and, like, cream things, and then this one is my everyday brush, so those I would like to keep. I also would like to keep this little HEMA brush. This is an angle brush that I use for liner, so that's an everyday staple. Let me fan these out a little bit so I can see better. This is my very mangled but still very tried and true MAC 217. This is still that goat hair version that I got years ago, but they don't do it in goat hair anymore, I believe. But the short-handled one I have is also goat hair, which is why I see that. Like, if this one really starts to fall apart, that's what I'm going to use. But this brush, like, if you invest in brushes, you can use them for decades. I mean, you just need to take care of them. This little Sigma thing, I don't know what the number is of it, because it is a pencil brush. I think it was the E15 or the E30, something like that. It's rubbed off, I don't know. I use this BK Beauty brush every single day. This is the 204. And I use, the only brush I use daily from that little HEMA kit I bought is this smudging brush, the 113. So those I use every single day. Then this Zoeva brush, the 224 Luxe Define Crease, is one I use regularly, not daily, but regularly. Same thing for this BK Beauty brush. This is a 202, which is a very nice wispy blending brush. So if I want to blend things out, I use that. So that's a good one. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. I also quite regularly use the Luxe Crease from Zoeva, the 228. This is another great, like, blending brush. I use it mainly on the lower lash line for some reason. If I want to do a gel or a liquid liner, I use this eyeliner brush from Sigma. This is their E05. This is a travel size. It's got a shorter handle, which gives you more control, which I enjoy. I have a spoolie in here. It's always good to have a spoolie, so I'm going to keep that. That one is also from HEMA. I don't use this anymore as much as I did, so maybe this one needs to go into the other cubby. This is the Petite Crease from Zoeva. And this is great if you want to do like a cat eye, or if you want to smoke things out, which is not a technique I do all that often anymore. but I need to go back to it. So maybe I should keep that in just for those moments where I feel like I need to do that. This is the Firm Blender from Sigma. This I love for doing like more intricate inner corner highlights and stuff. I also love this Sigma brush. This is the E57, which is a smaller version of the E55, which is great for more detailed work. And if I want to do something like a halo eye, I use this Sonia Kashuk brush for tapping on some shadows. And if I want to do a cut crease, I use this cream shader brush from Zoeva to sort of cut it because it has a really nice sharp edge. So I love those. If I want to do something super detailed, I use this 237, the detail shader from Sigma. This one I believe I have another one of, so I should have a look at that in a second, but this is the E15. This is my really old one. This is great for tight lining your eyes, but I need to compare that to other things I have now. And then these things I don't really use a lot. This is a lip brush from HEMA. If I need to use a lip brush with any of my lip products, this is the thing I use. So that might have to stay. But these are all Refer, and they're really good brushes, like I mentioned, but I don't reach for them because this is just too big. Like, my lids cannot deal with a brush that big. It just doesn't. This is by Singe, which is Angelica Nukvist brand, and this I bought randomly to get free shipping on Monolith. And, I mean, it's nice, but it's a little bit too wispy for what I would want to go for. So, not sure what to do with this yet because I have some other Singe brushes that were sent to me by Monolith. So this is a maybe. I'm going to make a maybe pile over there. This little Real Techniques thing, it's a good detail brush, but I think if I go for a detail brush, I would reach for my little Zoeva brush and not this one. So this, I think I'm going to declutter. It's also gotten sticky over time. And I think I actually have two of these. So I need to, again, compare this to my face brushes in a second because I don't even know why that is here. The Spectrum brush, the A12, this is nice in the inner corner. I can see myself using it, but I think I'm going to put this in the back cubby and not in the main cubby. And I think the same thing is going to go for these Refer brushes. These are so good. They're also quite expensive. I bought all of these myself, and I believe maybe because these are the minis, and I didn't buy these myself, I believe, because I think Esther actually sent me this entire set. And I do like playing with these, but I still feel that the actual brush heads are just a bit big for me. I like them, but they're going to go into the back cubby rather than the main cubby. I think that's going to be best. Which leaves me with all of this. This used to be in the back cubby. Which, again, some Refer in there. I'll show you the difference between the mini and the, like, regular size. I mean, this is still a regular size to me. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, even though they're called mini, to me, they're still the same size. But that can still go into the back cubby because I don't want to get rid of any of my Refer brushes. So those, I think I'm just going to pull out because I do like those a lot. I think this one as well. So those are all of the Refer ones. So those I would like to keep. I have another spoolie here. Maybe this should just go in my travel makeup set because this is from that same set as the other Essence brushes. I have a BK Beauty brush here, the 203. This is nice, but I don't see myself using this regularly enough that I'm going to be using it on the day-to-day. So that needs to go into the backup drawer. Same for these. I love these brushes. They're great for when you want to apply glitters or like a glitter primer, like the NYX glitter glue, stuff like that. These are really good brushes for that, but I don't use glitter enough that this needs to stay on top of my vanity. So it's going to go into the backup drawer. This brush was sent to me by Monolith, and it has the same thing as the smaller one. It's so wispy that I feel I have no control with it. So like it, it's a good quality brush, but it's not great for what I want to get from it. It's time for me to get rid of this base shadow brush from Real Techniques. I used to love using this with one and done eyeshadows, but I now have my BK Beauty brush for that, like the really wispy one. That's the one I like to use for my one and dones. More Zoeva here, the Luxe Precise Shader. Like, if I'm going to keep another precision brush, this is going to be the one, but it's going to go in the other cubby. And here I also have a Sigma one, like a Sigma version of that. I'm going to keep the Sigma one here. Oh, here, these are the ones from the set. Yeah, see, this one I can declutter. This is what it looks like if it's new. This is the E15. Ooh, I'm dropping things. This is the E15 when it's never been used. So I'm going to get rid of the old one, keep the new one, and I think I'm going to keep all of those Sigma brushes that they sent me, because again, Sigma is one of my favorite brush brands as well. This is a little lash separator from Catrice, which I can keep. That's great for if you have clumpy lashes, you could say. Another Sigma brush, this short shader. This is lovely, but I don't need to keep it up top. Same with the medium sweeper, the E54. Nice. Don't need to keep it on top. And I think the same goes for all of these. The E38, the Fused Crease. This is a good blending brush for me. Like, it's really, really good for blending. We've got a bit of sun coming in. And then we have the E25 blending. So I have two of those. So I have one that's brand new and one that's a little bit older, but I don't use this a lot. It's very similar to the MAC 217 though. So they're good brushes, so I can keep those. And I think I'm going to do the same thing with those other ones. And then the Precision Firm Blender, the E42, is really lovely. And the taper blending, the E35. I know everybody loves these kind of brushes, but I just don't love them. But because it's Sigma, it gets to stay. These BK Beauty brushes, I would like to keep on top, the 207 and the 209. This is like the smallest angled brush I have ever seen. It's so pretty. So that needs to go on top. And this Essence brush is really good if you want to do like a pomade in your brows. So want to keep that for that reason. This angled brush from Real Techniques is nice, but again, it's more of a brow brush for me. I don't use brushes anymore in my brows, but just in case I feel the need, I can. And then I think that a lot of these Whatsup Beauty brushes are gonna go into my travel makeup set, because I think that these all will work really well in there. So that's gonna go with my travel brushes. So I didn't get rid of too much. I've just dispersed things in a slightly different way. Let's do the face brushes next. Okay, so here we have the face brushes. This section is a section that I reach for all the time. This crown brush, this is the C406. This is my bronzer brush of choice. It's a duo fiber brush. It shears out everything so nicely. That gets to stay. Then I have my Spectrum B01 brush. I love using this one for cream products. And I now see that I forgot to clean this one. I washed all my brushes yesterday, and this one I forgot. This fan brush from Zoeva. I mean, it looks pretty, but I don't use it, so it can go into the cubby that I keep underneath my brushes. And this has been my new favorite foundation brush, the Multitasker from Sigma. I now see it looks super grubby because I washed it. The F47, this has been a game changer for me. This is a Zoeva version of this like kabuki style brush. Not sure I need to keep that. Here we have a double-sided one from the same that can go. I don't love double-sided brushes. This is a really nice one. It's like a dupe for a NARS brush. I got it from someone in Canada. I think it's by Quo, if I'm not mistaken. So this I like to keep on top. If you have a super pigmented blush, this is excellent. And this, for the longest time, was my favorite blush brush. It still kind of is. It's by Real Techniques. It's their blush brush. I've had this for ages. But Sigma sent me their bronzer brush, the F29, and I feel they're like the same shape. So I've now been using this brush instead of this. But this can still stay on top because I know I would love to use that some other time. And then I have this BK Beauty brush. This is the 109, which I sometimes like to use for concealer or for foundation. And now I'm looking at the, like all the things I'm keeping in my travel makeup bag. And I'm like, maybe this can go in there. But for now, it's going to stay up top. And this BK Beauty blush brush, like it's very similar to the Zoeva. Maybe I'm going to put the Zoeva in my travel makeup bag. That's what I'm going to do because this is nice and small. I've been using this for powder, this BK Beauty 112 brush. This used to be my favorite powder brush. This is the Sigma F25. You can see the name has completely worn down, but I don't use really large powder brushes anymore, so I'm going to put that in the cubby down below. This is my favorite highlighter brush, the F03 from Sigma. I use it every day, so that needs to go into the cubby. I do really like this BK Beauty brush as well, the 111. Can be used for many different things, so that's going to stay up top. And I also like my BK Beauty 110, so that's going to stay up top as well. Then I have some Refer things in here again. See, this is why I have plenty of these angled brushes, because I have another one by Refer. But these I would like, these are the face brushes I have from the brand. So the 04, the B02, the B1, the 19, and the 24. These are really lovely brushes, but they're again gonna go into storage because I don't need them all the time. And then I think I want to keep these Whatsup Beauty brushes with my travel makeup bag because I think that will be lovely. So I have the R203 here, which is a nice wispy brush. This is great for highlighter. This is the 201. And then I have the 202, which is just another like blush bronzer sort of thing. So that way I have my travel makeup bag sorted. See, and I knew they had sent me a new one of their kabuki brush, the F80, the flat kabuki. So this is the old one that I've had for years, and this is the brand new one. I'm going to keep the new one, declutter the old one, because I've had that one for more than a decade. Then I have, I think, another F03, but this is just good to have as a backup, I think. So I'm going to put that one there. And then they also have, they sent me the F53 Air, which is also great for bronzer, I feel. So I think I want to keep that one on top, because I think that will work. And then Monolith sent me the Singe F01, which I actually do quite like, but I don't know what I would use it for. So I think the Singe brushes I'm going to pass on to someone because I don't see myself using those. This, I think I just put this Real Techniques setting brush in the wrong cubby because I do use this from concealer from time to time. So gonna put that up top. And then I just have another Sigma brush. This is the Soft Blend Concealer brush, the F64. I'm gonna put that in here. And this is another one of the Up and Up brushes. I used to use this for concealer or powder under my eyes. But again, it's just a bit old. And because I now have that flat top kabuki brush from Sigma that's brand new, and I never really use brushes like this one anymore. And what I have just found is that after a while, they become very difficult to clean. So the Zoeva one is a toss. So I think we've culled it down quite a bit. Let me show you. So I feel I've expanded the travel size, like the travel brushes the most, but I think this way I just have all the options I would want if I'm in a pinch and I just want to do some makeup. This is what the daily tub now looks like. A lot more curated. And I've just put all of the remaining Refer and Sigma brushes that I have in here, and this is no longer overflowing because before I could barely close it. It's a little drawer. The other drawer I use for eyeliners, so that's a good cull, I think. And then what I'm getting rid of, like these I'm going to chuck because they're old and they've been washed and used, and not all of them are like super clean. And then the ones, I can't pick it up. That's how much it is. And then all of these, I'm going to pass on to other people because I've barely used them. And it's no use like having so many brushes that I don't reach for. So this way I have backups for brushes or brush shapes just in case. I have a couple of things that are just old and sticky that just need to go. And then these things I can pass on to other people in my life. I know plenty of people who don't have a lot of brushes, so this is going to be great for them. So this is declutter number 1. I'm going to be doing more of these in the next couple of weeks. So for all of March, you can find all of these declutters of my makeup collection over on the channel. So I'd like to stay tuned for more because I have 6 of these in total. So thanks so much for joining me today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, so if you'd like to stay tuned for more, and then I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.